Hey everyone, this is Cynthia, Psychic and Astrologer. So this is going to be the daily horoscope for January 20th and January 21st. Now, the moon will be in Virgo, so this is actually going to be a time of they're focusing on your health and well-being, maybe even taking care of tedious tasks and projects. So let's get started. Aries. Now, this is actually going to be a time of putting in some hard work, taking care of some tasks and projects. It's a very active time for you, but this could actually be a time where you're looking over your finances. Now, the energy is actually going to be picking up for you on January 22nd. This is actually going to be a time where finances and financial obligations may be heightened there for you, especially around actually, anywhere from about 6 a.m. to about 10 a.m. So more of the early morning hours on the 21st than later on in the day. It's a very positive time. Maybe you're taking care of some financial obligations, paying off some bills, or maybe even having to deal with taxes, or maybe you run into a great special or promotion there. So overall, the energy is very active and productive financially for you. Taurus, it's a great social time for you, especially on January 21st, but the energy does pick up on January 20th. Now, you're actually going to notice that there'll be actually people or connections, whether you want to call it friendships, people you're associating with, reaching out more to you. It might be work related, it might be just old friends reaching out and connecting with you, but the energy is very productive and very active. I would say you might even have some choices of what you want to do and who you want to talk to, especially for the weekend. The energy is actually going to be very active and very energetic for you, especially on January 21st before 12 p.m. You may be receiving a text message or an email somewhere between 6 and 10 a.m. But I do feel that you might be getting a lot more attention than what you would like, especially if you have a lot of tasks and obligations that you have to take care of. But overall, the energy is actually looking pretty good and pretty active. Gemini. Now, this is actually going to be a time where you're kind of focusing more about the home. Maybe this is a time where you have some obligations to take care of around the home. Maybe it's to take care of some tasks and projects, maybe cleaning out the garage. But it's where you're going to feel like you're doing a lot more progress will be on January 21st. Now, on January 20th, you're going to feel a little bit overwhelmed, but on January 21st, you feel like you're really uh, doing well and taking care of any projects there. So it's like, oh, I'm getting ahead or I'm completing projects. If it's not related to the home, if you're working from home, this could actually be a time where you're getting a lot of work done at home. So you're just feeling like you're overwhelmed on one day on the 20th, but then on the 21st, you feel like you're getting ahead. So it could be a very productive day where you're just everything's starting to go a lot more smoother for you. Cancer. Now, you're going to feel a lot more talkative. I actually kind of feel like maybe you are looking to interact and communicate with people here or something, but the communication actually increases for you on these days. And you may actually find yourself taking a lot of quick, short trips, maybe running some errands, maybe doing some chores around town. So the communication kind of increases pretty well. Maybe even receiving more frequent text messages than what you want. You'll probably notice that more so on the 21st throughout the day than on the 20th. So maybe if you want to connect with people or if you lost contact, it's a great social time for you and a great productive and active time for you. I mean, if anything, maybe, if you haven't really communicated much or been feeling more, not neglected, but kind of maybe neglecting others, this could actually be a really good time and a really good day to just build those connections again. Leo, finances and financial obligations are highlighted for you on these 2 days. Now, on one end, you may actually be a lot more busier financially with, paying some bills or taking care of some financial obligations. But on the 21st, it seems to be a pretty financial productive day. So this could be making money, making more money, or if you're going to a job interview or reaching out to job prospects, this could actually be a very active and productive day for you to really maybe do interviews, build new connections, social connections, especially if you need a network and build connections maybe for a future project or for a client or customer. This is actually a really good time for you. The energy is actually pretty positive for signing any kind of contracts, making any kind of agreements. Yes, Mercury is currently retrograding, but the energy isn't that negative on these days. So I don't really think you're going to feel like anything's kind of holding you back. I think, if anything, you're just kind of being more cautious and careful on what kind of agreements you make at this time. Now, for Virgo, obviously the moon is in your sign. Expect to receive plenty of attention, praise, and recognition. This is actually even a good time to just reach out and connect with family and friends, maybe with clients, customers. Actually, I feel, if anything, they will be coming and reaching out to you. So the attention is more for you. Maybe even people you don't want to deal with will be reaching out to you. But I mean, it's a really good time. I mean, if you want to talk and communicate and maybe interact with people that you haven't really reached out to, it's a good active time for you. But I kind of feel like the energy comes more for you, it's for you to get the attention versus you having to do any work of reaching out to anyone. Now for Libra. Um, It is going to be a pretty productive time for you, but it seems like you're more focused on kind of taking care of more things that need more small, tedious type of work. It's interesting because you're kind of more introverted on this, maybe keeping more to yourself. And I don't know if it might be related with finances or some other obligations, but it kind of really feels like usually you're a more social sign and you want to be around people. But this time around, it kind of doesn't feel that way. It really feels like you're just wanting to do things more on your own, maybe wanting to be left alone, or maybe you don't want to deal with people or something. But this is actually a time where you may feel kind of like keeping to yourself. So, and then eventually, on the 22nd and 23rd, the moon does enter your sign. So you start getting out, going out, and like I said, being more social and active. But on these 2 days, you're kind of a little bit more quiet into yourself. Scorpio. So it is going to be a positive social time for you. So family and friends are reaching out more. You're also being more social and building connections there. But I do feel that there is going to be moments, especially more towards the end of the evening hours on the 21st, where you kind of feel a little bit more, I don't know if I want to say tired, maybe just wanting to be alone. So this could be a time or a moment where you're not really looking to be too interactive with people, even though earlier in the day of the 21st and throughout the 22nd. It is a more social time for you, but there's a gap period of time, I would say, from about maybe 6 to about 10 or 11 in the evening hours on the 21st, where it may feel a little bit more like you're just wanting to be a little bit quiet or just to yourself, or maybe you are without really trying, and it's just kind of more at peace. Sagittarius. Now, this is actually a great time for you for your career. If you are looking for a new job or maybe looking to see if you can get a promotion or advancement, these 2 days are actually looking really, really good for you. I do like more so January 21st than January 20th. But I do feel that it's a very positive time for you and for your career. Now, if you are just doing a meeting or doing some presentations, the connection is works very well. You're very focused on the small details. You make a great impression with that. You will do great at putting any kind of project together, especially if it involves like a graph or having to do a chart where you have to show all the little details and the facts and the figures. So you'll do quite well with that. And overall, the energy does show that you'll make a great presentation and a good impression onto others. Now, Capricorn. Um, the energy is actually pretty good when it comes to kind of being a little bit more like doing research. Because one of the things that I do keep getting is like you're going over things, looking over documents, going over maybe it's contracts or, we're getting into tax season, maybe going through all the receipts or something. It's also a great time if you are looking to study, maybe if you have to study for an exam, do some research, great time for that. So the energy is actually pretty productive with that. I think you'll do well going over, maybe to study for an exam. It'll be a great time. You're going to be very centered and very focused, just being like buried in the books kind of feeling. And I think it'll be great. I think you'll accomplish a lot. You'll do well. And it's just a great time where I think you'll just feel like you got a lot accomplished for this time being. Aquarius. Now, finances and financial obligations are going to be highlighted for you. Um, it might be a time where you just pay off some debts or bills. Maybe you're just taking care of some financial obligations or doing some financial transactions. Now, this is actually a great time for you to budget and save, looking over the finances, and also just a great time to just kind of take care of any obligations connected to that. Now, obviously, we're getting into tax season, so maybe you are also dealing with uh, issues relating with taxes, credit cards, loans. This is a really good time for, if you're doing like sales to get like a bonus or a commission or to make a sale. So this is actually a really good time for that. So if you are or work in that kind of environment, I kind of feel that it would be a very active and productive time for you where I think it would be very beneficial. You'll do well and you'll also build some great connections. Pisces. Now it's about partnerships and relationships and building connections and interactions. This is actually even a good time to have more open communication with others. A great day that I think works best for you would be on January 21st, where you will feel like you're actually making greater progress in building connections. These connections doesn't have to be related to someone personal. It could be someone personal like a client, a customer, a coworker. A great time to bring out any issues or problems. So if there is anything that maybe you've been feeling you've been holding out on or just need to be more open about, this would actually be a great time for you. Financially, there are some benefits financially. Um, and I think this is actually a time where maybe you're collaborating or working with others, maybe to further your career, maybe going through a project or going over a project that can build for your career and build more financial security and stability there. So it's a great time and great opportunities for you to advance. But right now, this is actually a greater time to have more improved communication and build greater connections for the long term.